Wait, hold up. Hold on, you know. Alright, whatever. Alright, we'll get that figured out later. Anyways, welcome to episode 126 of the Hurricane Mike Show, I think. But yeah, we're gonna be going over the New Orleans Saints. Unfortunately, you know, it's preseason, but the New Orleans Saints fall to the Los Angeles Chargers 27-13. Chargers are 2-0 in the preseason. The Saints are 0-1 in the preseason. But then we gotta start off how we usually start off, and then the Falcons. Watch this. The Falcons couldn't even finish their preseason game, man. Dang. Frodo, man. Hey, Jared. But yeah, prayers up to Maurice Norris, man. But did you see that boy Easton Stick play?
No.
Good, because he would not good, man. But and why he not good?
Because he sucks just like his team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. All right. Jerry says he watched our video Monday and it was good. That intro is fire. Whew, yep. You know. Yeah. Unfortunately, my intro doesn't work. So. You know. But anyways. But yeah. Yeah. Now Jerry's laughing. Anyways, that was the main thing after the first preseason game.
The main thing is I think we need to just give the quarterback job to Tyler Shough. I think he's, a calm, cool, collective dude out there. And I think since we're going to take some lumps with a young quarterback, I think just give it to him and make him, get all the first team reps and see how good he can get.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that it's just preseason, man. It's just 3 games. It used to be 4, but it's just 3 games where guys who aren't even going to be on your team in a couple of weeks are just fighting for their roster spot. And Dad, is there anything that makes you want to go cry in the middle of the street?
The fact that Jake Haener is still on this football team.
That's literally my exact same answer. This dude needs to start learning Chinese, and he needs to learn it quick, because from how he throws the ball, he'll be a perfect CFL quarterback. Man, screw the UFL. Nah, you going to the CFL. We sending you where we sent Brandon Ingram. Wait, no, that's Canada. Never mind. But yeah, now let's, Jerry says you need to go. Amen to that. Anyway, so now let's get started, man. Your leading passer of Sunday's game was Tyler Shough, who was 15 for 22, 165 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Your leading rusher was Spencer Rattler with 3 carries for 22 yards. And your leading receiver was Mason Tipton with 1 reception, 54 yards, and a touchdown. On the Chargers side of things, your leading passer was Trey Lance, who was 7 for 14 for 55 yards. Your leading rusher was Trey Lance, who had 7 carries for 48 yards and a touchdown. Your leading receiver was Dale Von Campbell, 3 receptions for 62 yards. And if we look at the scoring summary, no one scored in the first quarter, as the Chargers outscored us 9-3 in the second. Third quarter, they outscored us 8-7. Fourth quarter, they outscored us 10-3. In the second quarter, with about 13:30 left, Cameron Dicker hit a 44-yard field goal to give the Chargers a 3-0 lead. And then with 1:38 left, Trey Lance ran in a 5-yard touchdown where the Chargers failed on the 2-point try, as the Saints committed a penalty on the extra point, which gave them the ball at the 1-yard line, but they failed to get it in. And then the Saints got a field goal with 5 seconds left in the half from Blake Grupe from 31 yards out. And then the third quarter, the Chargers opened up with a 43-yard pick 6 from Eric Rodgers, and Dalevion Campbell and Trey Lance connect on the 2-point try, which extended the lead 17-3. But then Tyler Shough answered with 7:14 left in the third, throwing a 54-yard touchdown to Mason Tipton, which followed by a Charlie Smythe kick. Then going into the fourth quarter, Chargers up 17-10. Cameron Dicker hits a 40-yard field goal with 4:50 left to go up 20-10. Then Raheem Sanders gets an 11-yard touchdown run, followed by Cameron Dicker's kick. We go 27-10, and then Charlie Smythe ends the game with a field goal with 10 seconds left to make it 27-13. All right, now let's go into the individual stats. From the Saints side of things, you had Tyler Shuck. He was 15 for 22, 165 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Spencer Rattler was 7 for 11 for 53 yards, and Jake Haener was 5 for 8 for 41 yards and 1 interception. So that out of the 3 quarterbacks that played, who do you think was better? Who do you think needs to improve? Like, what do you think from these quarterbacks?
First off, how do you spell Shedeur?
Shedeur.
EUR. Okay, got it. See, I got it. All right. And another thing, now I don't hear it. I was going to tell you to fix your microphone, but I think it sounds better now. These 3 quarterbacks, so definitely, Jake Haener is not it, so push him off to the side. Honestly, Rattler had, a couple moments there where he used his legs for some big plays, and he made a couple throws. He made a couple boneheaded plays as well, but all in all, he was fine. He wasn't anything special. And then our rookie, our second round rookie, he looked the steadier of the 3. And he did have that one mistake, that pick 6. But, how do you put that behind you and rebound from that and just move forward? He did an excellent job there. Hit and tipped it on that double move the very next drive. So he's shown that he can fight through some adversity. And I like that. So that's why I say we should give him the nod right now.
Yeah, I think it's too early to give someone the nod as of right now. But I will say Tyler Shuck, he showed confidence in himself. Like, he didn't come there scared to make a play. Obviously you saw with that deep bomb, and I know he had the pick 6, and I saw Falcon fans were laughing. But I was thinking preseason, like Jaden Daniels wasn't lining up in the preseason last year. And look, I'm always gonna use that example. Like, bro, it's preseason, It's preseason. If he throws that pick 6 in the regular season, it's like, look, Shuck has a long leash, right? He's a rookie. Like, mistakes are gonna happen. You're not gonna come in the thing being Tom Brady. Like, it's not gonna happen. I would like it to happen, but it's just not. Now with Spencer Rattler, I think Rattler just went into the game and he was like, okay, I'm gonna play safe with the football, and that's what he did, man. Hitting the open man, using his legs when he needed to. I think Rattler, and there was a couple plays where it's like, okay, you gotta do better. And Jake Haener he just sucks. Okay. The Unknown Galaxy is in here and says, hey, can I join your show and explain why Michael Jordan fans are the worst sports fans of all time?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I saw a LeBron fan somewhere. Where's he at?
Yeah, look.
Everybody's welcome, but that's just a bad take. It is.
Yeah, that's just no. Jordan, no, just anyways, let's talk about this running game. As we mentioned earlier, Spencer Rattler was our leading rusher with 3 carries for 22 yards, 7.3 yards a carry. Kendra Miller had a pretty solid game on the ground. 6 carries for 15 yards with 2.5 yards a carry. Cam Akers didn't really do much, getting 4 carries for 9 yards, 2.2 yards a carry. Jake Haener, 1 carry for 7 yards, 7 yards a carry. And let's see, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was, he was all right, but 4 carries for 6 yards, 1.5 yards a carry. Tyler Shuck, 1 carry for 3 yards, 3 yards a carry, and Velus Jones Jr., 1 carry, -1 yards, -1 yards a carry. The Universe Galaxy says, you can tell these are both typical Michael Jordan fans. Look how they react, LOL. All I did was ask them a question nicely, and they act like it's strange and they react more. Bro, ain't nobody's talking about Michael Jordan or LeBron James. You're the one that brought it up. Like, this is a Saints podcast, okay?
A little
This is a
sensitive
Saints,
there, bro. A little sensitive.
like, this is a
Gotta be
Saints
careful.
pod. Yeah. Hey, Connor, how you doing? This is a Saints podcast, okay? Like, look, sometimes, we talk about other things on the show, but look, and I respect you, but I'm not just gonna, like, have you come on the show just to talk about something that's completely off topic. Look, like, if you said, hey, can I join the show to talk about, these New Orleans Saints? And I was like, okay, sure, I'll put the link in the chat and we can just have a 3-man conversation. But you just freaking said something about Michael Jordan, and this ain't even a basketball podcast. That's, you're talking about us reacting in a negative way. What am I supposed to react, And also, that's the thing you already said. Did I go to the stadium in the world? Yeah. I don't even know what that means. Yeah. Bro, did he literally just have the question twice?
I don't know, but I got a secret to tell you.
What?
Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Okay, moving on now. What we got?
Yep. He is, man. All right, so now that they randomly bring up LeBron James, again, all I did was ask the question nicely, and look how they react. And then when I point out how they reacted, don't calm down and say sorry. Bro, you came in talking about Michael Jordan, LeBron James. You came in. We didn't even. I didn't even say the word Michael Jordan one time till you came in. Like,
Mikey.
What?
Let's move on and not worry about the trolls. I mean, there's people that go on these shows all the time just to get a reaction. We're going to do what we do. We're here to talk about some Saints football. Let's get to it.
Yeah, wait, hold up. Hold up. Where's it at? Hey, Connor, how you doing? Hold on, I'm trying to find something real quick. Here we go.
Breaking news.
Yep. Sound the alarms, y'all. We got breaking news. Breaking news. Will Clapp of the New Orleans Saints has officially been ruled out for the season. Yep. Out for the season he goes. So, what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is, I'm fine. I mean, I just spent a whole show talking about how we need to cancel preseason. Don't need it. We can know everything about our team in practice. I mean, the risk is too great, especially for veteran players to play in these preseason games. And now, my boy Will Clapp, done for the year. There you go.
Yep.
I'm a genius, man. I'm a genius, just like Michael Jordan.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Anyways, but yeah, I just put that dude in timeout because, bro, he's just going off topic. Okay. Yeah, you can join the show at a later date if you calm down. Anyways, so yeah, I'm not even gonna block people no more. I'm just gonna put them in timeout and I'm gonna give them a chance. And if they ruin it, then okay, I'm gonna give you 3 chances. After 3, you're blocked. Yep. Thanks for coming. All right, now. All right, you hit him. All right, appreciate you, Jerry. Now that we got that situated, how do you feel about the run game from Sunday? It wasn't really a committee back there. It was just like a battle. With obviously, Devin Neal couldn't play because he was hurt. But other than that, and obviously Kamara didn't play because he's a veteran and you already know what you got in him. But everybody else, I think, was pretty much in the game. So how do you feel about the running game?
Spencer Rattler, your leading rusher, he didn't run too well. I mean, Kendrick Miller had a couple runs that, he looked like an NFL running back, and that was good. I could see him behind Kamara sharing the load a little bit this year. So that was good. Cam Akers got in there, got a little action. He didn't have much room to run. But yeah, it was a slow start running the ball. I mean, hopefully we'll see more in the Jacksonville game.
Yeah. All right. Connor says University Galaxy banned from. He's not banned from channel yet, but keep talking like that, and we might have a conversation. Anyways, but yeah, the running game. I think Kendrick Miller had a solid game. It's preseason, so obviously, he wasn't going to get too many carries and too many yards. But from the carries he did get, he definitely looked like he's a solid running back on this team. He didn't get hurt, which, a lot of people are so happy about. But yeah, man, so a lot of stuff happened with this running game, and I'm proud of it, man. Just hopefully Velus Jones does not run the ball again in his life, because that boy cannot get a positive. That boy cannot get a positive yard to save his life. Bro, what does that sound? Okay. Well, all right. Now let's talk about these receivers, man. Mason Tipton was your leading receiver on that one reception for 54 yards. Again, that touchdown. Kevin Austin Jr. was your number 2 with 4 catches for 42 yards, 10.5 yards a catch. He got, a couple good catches to end the half. And Cedric Wilson Jr., 3 receptions for 37 yards, 12.3 yards a catch. Dante Pettis, 2 receptions for 25 yards, 12.5 yards a catch. Velus Jones Jr., 4 catches for 16 yards with 4 yards of reception. Marcus Yarns, 3 catches, 15 yards, 5 yards a catch. Trayton Welch, 3 receptions for 14 yards and 4.7 yards a catch. Bob Means, who unfortunately also got injured because he must get injured for some reason, getting 1 reception for 12 yards a catch. Brandon Cooks, 1 reception, 10 yards for 10 yards a catch. Michael Jacobson, his name kind of sounds like Michael Jordan. I'm just putting that out there. But yeah, Michael Jacobson, 1 reception for 9 yards a catch. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 1 reception, 9 yards a catch as well. And Kendrick Miller even got 1 reception for 9 yards a catch. Maliki Matavo, 1 reception for 6 yards a catch. And then Jack Stoll ends out the receivers with 1 catch for 1 yard, 1 yard a catch. And also has Burke Hands. Connor says, will Bub Means be okay? I don't know yet. I know he is expected to miss some time. But I don't know if there's actually like a return label for him. I know he's probably going to be out, probably, for a few weeks. I don't know. He's going to probably miss some time. At least he's expected. I know he's looking for a second opinion as well. But anyways, Dad, how do you feel about these receivers?
See, Mason Tipton, he had, 1 big play. That was really the only, action you really saw from him. But Kevin Austin Jr., he looked like Tyler Shoug's favorite receiver out there. And he got 4 quick catches, and that was good. But my takeaway from it is if Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Brandon Cooks is not out there for us this year, we're gonna struggle throwing the ball. I mean, we need those guys to stay healthy and let these other young guys that are playing right now develop. And we need our guys to stay healthy. Taysom Hill too. You got to come back, Taysom.
Yeah. Connor says Mason Tipton will be a Hall of Famer. I hope he does, because that means he's a great player. But as long as he does it for the Saints. But yeah, look, the receivers, Brandon Cooks, I need him to block some more. I understand he's old and maybe he doesn't really care about preseason. You got blocked, buddy. Mason Tipton had a sweet double move on the Chargers corner with that touchdown. However, Tyler Shough almost threw another touchdown. I believe it was to Kevin Austin, as it was I think down the sideline, and it was just out the reach of Austin. Bro, if he caught that, man, the world would have went crazy. Also, I want to point something out. All right, Connor says Jack Stoll will be Hall of Famer. Okay, now you're just strong because ain't no way. I want to point something out. So I watched the Falcon fan react to the Saints Chargers game, and when Tyler Shough threw that pick 6, he was like, "Yeah, y'all could have had Shador. Yeah, that boy sucks." And then the next play, he throws the touchdown, and he's like, "Bad defense." Dad, they're scared of us, man. They're scared of us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad Tyler Shuck rebounded and threw that pass to Tipton because after that pick six, if Tyler Shuck just played okay, that's all we'll be talking about. Man, what a bust that was. I mean, we wasted a pick on that. You know how people are. They just jump to the negative. But a good thing he rebounded and showed them, y'all need to shut up for right now.
Yes, sir, man. Got to do it. But yeah, now let's talk about the Saints defense, man. Jalen Ford had a great game, 5 tackles, 3 assists. Isaiah Stallbird, 3 tackles, 1 assist. Fadil Diggs, 3 tackles, 1 assist. Elliot Davidson had 2 tackles, 1 assist. Oh, and Fadil Diggs also had a sack. Collins said shout eye. Okay. Chris Rumph II, former Charger, had 2 tackles, 1 assist, and 1 sack. Oh, I just realized Will Clapp's also a former Charger. That's crazy. He got injured against his own team in the preseason. Anyways, Danny Stutzman, the sensational rookie, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Nafai Sewell got 2 tackles. Jaden Price with 2 tackles. Quincy Riley, 2 tackles. Vernon Brofton, 2 tackles. Isaac Yadam, 1 tackle, 2 assists. Ugo Amadi, 1 tackle. Connor said Clapp is a former Beaky too. I don't know what that means. Christian Boyd, 1 tackle and 1 sack, and that sack should have been a safety. I don't know what the refs were looking at. Like, bro, ain't no part of his skin was out the end zone. He didn't reach the ball. Bro, that was a safety. I understand it's preseason refs, but come on, man, you gotta do better. Like, bro, first we don't know what a catch is, then we don't know what a fumble is, now we don't know what a safety is. Whatever, bro. Let's move on. Rayshawn Wright, 1 tackle. DeMarco Jackson had 1 tackle. Jordan Howden had 1 tackle. Rico Payton, 1 tackle. Daniel Williams, 1 tackle. Jonas Sanker had 1 tackle. Julian Blackman, 1 tackle. Colin Saunders had 2 assists. Terrell Burgess, 1 assist. John Ridgway III, 1 assist. Brian Brzee, 1 assist. Connor says Lapp is a former Bill, too. Oh yeah, that's right, he was. But yeah, so how do you feel about the Saints defense as a whole, Dad?
It was a subpar game, really. I mean, we lost containment on runs around the end a couple times. I don't think that would really happen if our starters were in there. I think we'd show that up. But I was paying close attention to definitely Stutzman. Even though he just had 2 tackles, 1 assist, he was all over that field, though. He was going sideline to sideline. So I really like what he's, going to bring to us this year, possibly. So I was looking at that. I was looking at Yadam. He had, a couple good plays. He had that 1 penalty that wasn't too good. But all in all, they were just meh.
I was really impressed with our secondary, though. Like, our secondary was balling, man. Like, Ugo Amadi, that dude can bat some balls down, if you know what I mean, man. Him, Jalen Ford. You talk about Stutzman being all over the field. Jalen Ford was too. Like, that dude was, bro. For a second, I thought that boy was Mario Davis. Like, that man was not letting anything go by him. Jaden Price, good game in the secondary. Quincy Riley made some plays. Like, I think our defense could be sneaky good this season. Christian Boyd, once again, should have a safety. Rico Payton had a solid game. There was a couple plays where I wasn't a fan of Rico Payton, but overall, pretty nice day from him. And Brian Brzee played like 1 minute and was like, okay, I'm done now. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the Saints kick return, man, because special teams be underrated, man. So Felix Jones Jr., I ain't gonna lie, a solid game when it came to kick returning, mostly due to that 1 kick return he had at the end of the game. But 2 returns for 73 yards, 36.5 yards a return. He had Kendre Miller, 1 return for 36 yards return, and Jaden Price, 1 return for 25 yards return. So how do you feel like we did when it came to kick returning?
I think we did fine. My biggest takeaway of kick return would be that poor guy that muffed 2 kicks for the Chargers. I don't think he's gonna be returning kicks anymore. That's just my thought on that. But yeah, we did pretty good in that area.
Connor said Kendrick Lamar. What?
That's a wrap.
Okay, we're all over the place in the comment section right now. Anyways, all right. Yeah, I think the kick returners were fine. You know, Velus Jones Jr. had a great return at the end of the game, and that brought us around midfield. And punt returns, man, we had Donovan Peoples-Jones get 2 returns for 17 yards, 8.5 yards return, and Dante Pettis 2 returns for 8 yards. How do you feel like we did on the punt return?
Well, we did pretty good. We didn't have, any, breakaways or anything. They did all right.
Yeah, it was, All right, and then when it came to the kicking, Charlie Smythe was 1 for 1, 100%. You know, his longest was the 50-yard field goal at the end and had 4 points. And Blake Groupie was 1 for 1, 100%. Longest was the 31-yarder and scoring 3 points. Connor says there we Pam Purvey did. Okay. So how do you feel about 2 kickers, Charlie Smythe and Blake Groupie? How do you feel like they did Sunday?
Well, I mean, you can't argue with 100%. I mean, you can't get any better than that. But I still think, like I said, last week, I think it's Blake Groupie's job to lose, and unless he goes on a run of shanking a few kicks, I think it's going to be his job. And Charlie Smythe, he has a decent future, but it might not be here.
Yeah, probably not. I think he'll be probably like a practice squad kicker in case Groupie, strains his leg or something. And now punting, Kai Kroger, our new punter that we picked up last week, to replace Matthew Hayball, had 3 punts for 139 yards, 46.3 punting average, 1 inside the 20. James Burnip, 3 punts, 101 yards, 33.7 average, and 2 inside the 20. How do you feel like the punts were, like with Kai Kroger and James Burnip?
They both did pretty well. I mean, I can't really see who's in the lead at the moment. I mean, maybe the coaches have an idea of who they're leaning to, but this is actually the first time I've seen either of these guys kick balls. So, I'll just have to see how we go, in the Jacksonville game and pay attention to that a little more.
Yeah, I think both of the punters did exceptionally well, and we needed that because the last couple of years our punters ain't been that great. Like Hayball has been fine, but ever since 2021 with Blake Gillikin, the punters really haven't been there. So I was really, impressed with James Burnip and Kai Kroger. Now let's go on the Charger side of things. We're passing the ball. Trey Lance, 7 for 14 for 55 yards. Of course, when he's playing against the Saints, he has to be Tom Brady with wheels. Taylor Heinicke was awful. Like, that man was just straight awful. 1 for 5 for 8 yards. And DJ Ugalele was 1 for 1 for 49 yards because he had that one bomb at the end. How do you feel like these quarterbacks did?
Well, like you said, who's the starter?
Taylor Heinicke?
No, the other one.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. He made some plays with his legs. He scored a touchdown. He moved the ball a little bit. So yeah, the Saints didn't do a very good job of containing him. Did you have his rushing total?
Yeah, he had 7 carries for 48 yards, 6.9 average, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, so he was probably their best rusher, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he was their leading rusher.
So the 2 quarterbacks were the leading rushers. That's weird. I wonder if that ever happened before in the game. But
maybe. Yeah,
Tyler Heinicke, like you said, he sucked, and the guy that followed him, didn't get much action, but he did get that long pass down the field. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, man. Like Trey Lance, I think is probably going to be the backup quarterback for the Chargers this season. I think he's probably earned it, after the first 2 preseason games. Because, like, the Chargers, obviously, they played in the Hall of Fame game last week, so they've had, like, a bigger sample size when it comes to these people. Now, running the ball. Trey Lance was their leading rusher with 7 carries for 48 yards, 6.9 average, and 1 touchdown, followed by Raheem Sanders. Connor says TH was very good. Talking about Taylor Heineke? No, he wasn't. All right, and then now you followed by Raheem Sanders, getting 10 carries for 42 yards, 4.2 yards a carry, and 1 touchdown. At the end, Hassan Haskins, 6 carries for 33 yards, 5.5 yards a carry. Kamani Vidal, 6 carries for 16 yards, 2.7 yards a carry. Naheem Miller-Hines, 4 carries for 10 yards, 2.5 yards a carry. And DJ Ugalele, 1 carry for -1 yards because all he do is take a knee. So, how do you feel about the Chargers' running attack on Sunday?
Like I said when we was talking about the Saints defense, they did have a couple runs around the corner that we lost containment in, and of course we couldn't stop Trey Lance from running the ball too much. So I give it a C-.
Okay. Connor says, "Do you like Taylor Heineke?" No, that dude is garbage. Like, I used to think he was something in Washington, but no. You know what they said. You know what they say, man. You can take Taylor Heineke out of Atlanta, but you can't take Atlanta out of Taylor Heineke.
It's with him always.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Ever since going to Atlanta, he's cursed. But anyways, yeah, the receiving game for the the running game for the Chargers was pretty solid, man. Raheem Sanders ran it in at the end. Hassan Haskins did his thing on Sunday. Yeah. Receiving, the Chargers only had 5 players catch a pass, and that's rare for a preseason game, you know. Dalevion Campbell led that team with 3 receptions for 62 yards, 20.7 yards to catch. Oronde Gadsden II, 2 receptions, 15 yards, 7.5 yards to catch. Hassan Haskins, 2 receptions for 12 yards, 6 yards to catch. Brendan Rice had 1 reception for 12 yards, 12 yards to catch. And Raheem Sanders, 1 catch, 11 yards to catch. How do you feel like the Chargers receivers did?
They did all right. They didn't set the world on fire, but they did get loose for a couple big plays. And I mean, the bottom line is they won the game 27-13. So they made way more plays than we did, and including the receivers, they had a fine game. It was all right.
Yeah, Connor says is Heineke your least favorite. No, I never said he was my least favorite player, but like he's just not good. Anyways, but yeah, the Chargers receivers, man, Brendan Rice, man, the apple fell way far from the tree, man. He reminds me of Bronny James, man. Just, being in the league because of your last name. But yeah, man, and yeah, the Chargers, their receivers didn't do much, so yeah. Defensively, Marlo Wax, 9 tackles, 1 sack. He was all over the field on that defensive line. Amani Johnson, 6 tackles for 2 assists. R.J. Mickens had 3 tackles, 3 assists. Jasir Taylor, 3 tackles, 3 assists. Eric Rogers, 3 tackles, 1 assist, and had those 2 interceptions, including the pick 6 off of Tyler Shuck, and also had the pick late against Jake Haener. Triquise Bridges, 3 tackles, 2 assists. Kendall Williamson, 2 tackles. Caleb Murphy, 2 tackles and 1 assist. Jamari Caldwell had 2 tackles, 2 assists, and a sack. Tony Jefferson, 2 tackles and a sack. Jordan Oladokun, 2 tackles. Kanai Magwa, 2 tackles. Tariq Still had 2 tackles. Let's see. Kylan Guytree, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Christopher Hinton, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Naquan Jones, 1 tackle. Scott Matlock, 1 tackle. Tremon Morris Brash had 3 assists. Let's see. Nesta Jade Silvera with 1 assist. Troy Dye, 1 assist. So how do you feel the Chargers defense did?
They did fairly well. I mean, they had that 1 pick 6 that was a big turning point in the game. It was a close game until then. And then, just holding the team to 13 points, that's never bad. You should win those games when you only give up 13 points. So they did pretty darn good.
Yeah, man. The Chargers defense, I think did pretty well. It was, other than that deep bomb that they allowed Mason Tipton to get on them, they really blanketed the field. Only allowing 2 field goals outside of the touchdown. So I think if you're a Chargers fan, you're not mad at how your defense performed. Now, kick returns, man. Naeem Miller-Hines, 2 returns for 54 yards, 27 yards a return. Dalevion Campbell, 1 return for 23 yards, 23 yards a return. And Kamani Vital, 1 return for 12 yards, 12 yards return. So how do you feel like the Chargers' kick returns were against the Saints special teams unit?
Kick return or punt return or
kick returns?
Kick return. That just brings to mind this ridiculous kickoff rules we have now. I mean, it's like kickers are just pooching the balls now because they don't want to get touchbacks. They're just pooching the balls and making sure you run it out. So there's a lot more opportunities for some gains on kick returns now. But yeah, I think they were just average. I mean, they didn't really break a whole lot. And if you move right over to the punt returns, I mean, we know what the little poor guy did, dropping the two punts. That's never good. I don't even know if he's still on the team right now.
Yeah. Connor says Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Amen to that. But yeah, Chargers punt returns, man. Because their kick returns, they didn't really do much with them. But their punt returns, they didn't do anything with them. As Naeem Hines only had 2 returns, but didn't get a single yard in either of them. And Luke Grimm, 1 return for 7 yards return. So how do you feel like the Chargers punt return unit did?
Not a whole lot. I mean, you just laid it out there. No numbers to speak of, so nothing.
Yeah, I believe Luke Graham is the player that muffed the 2 punts.
I think he's 31, maybe. I'm 31.
Yeah. Let's see. Is he still on the Chargers? Hold up. Let me see. Alright, looks like he's still on the Chargers after that game. Yeah, alright. Kicking, Cameron Dicker was 2 for 2, 100%, as long as being a 44-yarder and made 7 points. So how do you feel Cameron Dicker did on Sunday?
He's pretty good. He's a strong kicker. He's got a strong leg, very accurate. I watched him a lot last year. He's a good kicker. He's got a big leg.
Yeah, he's probably at least a top 10 kicker in football, and also, and J.K. Scott, the Chargers punter, 6 punts for 290 yards, 48.3 yards a punt, and 2 inside the 20. So how do you think J.K. Scott did on Sunday?
Anytime you can get the ball inside the 20, you're doing all right. So he got 2 of them in there. So he did pretty good.
Yeah, I think J.K. Scott is also. I think the Chargers have one of the best special teams units in football. And now to wrap up the show, we're going to go over Saints team total yards and all the other stats, and if anything else pops up, we'll talk about it. All right, let's see. So the Saints had 300 total yards, 239 passing, 61 rushing, 4.5 yards per play, 17 first downs, 3 for 13 on third downs, 0 for 1 on fourth downs. Connor says, bye, boys. All right, bye, Connor. 66 total plays, 5 sacks allowed, 6 punts, 7 penalties for 56 yards, 1 fumble loss, 2 interceptions thrown, had the ball for 31 minutes and 8 seconds. Chargers, on the other hand, 248 total yards, 100 passing, 148 rushing, 4.4 yards per play, 15 first downs, 6 for 14 on third downs, 57 total plays, 3 sacks allowed, 6 punts, 4 penalties for 18 yards, 1 fumble lost, and 28 minutes and 52 seconds with the ball. However, that I almost forgot one thing. That man, Dylan Redunz, could not stop a cold.
Who's that?
The dude that basically got Spencer Rattler strip sacked.
Gotcha.
But like the entire game, I understand he was playing opposition, but bro, you could have did something better than that. Like this man literally got Spencer Rattler. He made him fumble the ball, and on that 4th and goal at the goal line, he was the reason Kendrick Miller got stopped. It's like, bro, you got to do better. Now, I don't care if you're a guard playing tackle, man. A lot of players switch from positions and be good, man. You got to do better. But anyways, I just wanted to get that off my chest. But yeah. So how do you feel like both teams did when you compare their stats and stuff? Like what's like your final recap on it?
Well, final recap is 27-13. So Chargers did more than the Saints did, even though the Saints are ahead in a lot of those statistical categories. So as you can see, the pick six really swung the game. Really was the turning point in the game, I would say.
Yep, that it was. So yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add on to that?
No, we're good.
All right. Yep. We'll be live with y'all next week after the Saints Jaguars game takes place, and we'll see how the Saints do against the Jacksonville Jaguars come preseason week 2, which will be on Sunday at 12 o'clock Central Time. Dad, where can they find you?
You can find me at Mic'd Up Sports. Come give me a subscribe and a like, and I'm on Hurricane Mike every week, sometimes 3 times a week. Woo!
Mm-hmm. All right, what's good, Carter Gray? You're catching the end of the show as we're about to sign off, but shout out to you. In fact, let me give like a shout out to everybody that was in here. Shout out to Jerry G, Connor, the Universe Galaxy. Shout out to you, and shout out
MJ.
Yep, and shout out to the NOLA Chalk Podcast, Carter Gray 84. You can always find me at Hurricane Mike, Kyle Phelps, and Keeping It Real, Who That Sports Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, turn the bell on so you don't miss a future upload like this. And I'll leave you as always with a who that, and don't be a what?
Don't be a Falcon fan. Don't be those men.
Don't
they
be
got somebody named Stick playing for them.
True that.